Like any account I log into is just saying like, oh, what should I farm for my accounts? Like, okay, get your ass out of Giants. Don't give a shit about your Swift quads that you're not getting anyways. And all you need is high triples. All you need is hero artifacts. And you're good for artifacts. But all you guys are just chasing those legendary runes that never roll right. And you're not getting those Swift quads anyways. Cool, what's up guys? We have the PC Abyss Heart and we're clearing it in 22 seconds. Well, 20 seconds is fastest so far. Julia's back. That's all I can say. If you make your Julie strong enough, you can still one-shot waves, which is amazing. And currently I'm using Igar because he's just very strong against this buff, or against this boss. Because on this boss, you kind of want to have the slow, you want to have buff block, you kind of want to have what def or the attack down is not too bad as well. He provides all of that. But if he doesn't, he has that attack buff. If he derps on all of those, it's still not really an issue. I've seen this thing still work pretty well, like all kinds of cases. If he goes for attack buff and then with the right debuffs, I have seen the boss die with just some team up. So that is insanely strong as well. Do you need good runes for this? Yeah, my Julie, I actually tested to check if I lower the rune quality on the Julie, well, at least the artifact quality on the Julie a bit. And then it didn't one-shot. So my Julie is on a good over-edging thing that it's not really on the edge of like one-shotting, not one-shotting. But yeah, in this case, clear without Brandia even moving. That's insane, right? Like that also does mean that you don't really need a Brandia for this. You could definitely do this with a Kro. I just tested it with a Kro before. It definitely does work with a Kro as well. But what's the main thing about this team? Well, Julie one-shots, definitely great. But we have team-ups, and with the team-ups, we actually have 2 units that can always on the side team-up armor break. Because Brandia has armor break as well. And I put a lot of accuracy sets on the whole team. I do not know how much accuracy we need. I think it is, once again, 35. But it could be a little bit higher. But people are asking, like, could you put Balayo? Could you put Liam? Could you put all of those kind of things? The answer is no. The reason that I would say no is because you want that unit in that final slot that also has an armor break. That part is pretty important to have, like, the backup armor breakers of those units in there, and therefore you don't want to go for any of those other units. And that was an insta-kill on just one team. That's insane, I guess. But yeah, the moment that you get those armor breaks in, you're good to go. And then you don't have to go for any side crystals. And it's pretty much like just 2 team-ups. Like if Igar does his right skills, you just need 2 team-ups, you're done for. That's all you need. And that's how chill it is. I'm currently using quite some accuracy sets to, I think, overstack the accuracy right now. So you could put more fight sets to it. I put 1 shield set to it just to make it more safe feeling. I don't even think it's really that necessary. So that could be another fight set. So you can add some extra fight set in this team. You do have the Igar lead, of course, which is very nice. I'm not too sure to what extent Igar, maybe if he's like super low on HP, has a better AI to always go for the S3. That's something that I do want to test out on, because if he has, if he gets hit and he is always going for that S3 or the most amount of times, then that it would definitely be very strong. So in this case, this is the first derpy team we have seen so far, or full derpy run that I've seen so far. It does go pretty hard derpy, because the thing is you have to clear this boss as fast as possible, and otherwise he starts getting very annoying. Can we still clear this? I'm not even sure if we can still clear this. It might be that we not clear this. So this is the first fill I've seen. How can you prevent this fill? I'm not sure. I think there was no skills from the Igar. Yep, okay, we failed. Well, this is the first fill that we've seen so far. Of course, moment I start recording, team always starts to fail. But are we gonna expect some fails on this dungeon? Yeah, but that was also the thing when we were doing the B10. B10 was also failing sometimes if you wanted to speed clear it. Because the thing is, the moment that the team-ups go wrong, Igar doesn't do any skills, then it's just going to be bad from there. That's just how it is. So that is definitely going to be in there. There's going to be some fails. If you want to do this very safe, you're looking at 1 minute runs, like 40 seconds to 1 minute runs, because then you're hitting side crystals first. The moment you clear side crystals, the whole boss battle doesn't become that interesting. But if you want to one-shot it and you miss the opportunity to one-shot and he starts getting the speed buff, he starts going cleanses, he starts going all kinds of annoying shit, then it is very likely that you're just going to miss your opportunity to one-shot it. So yeah, to make this team very effective, you need crazy runes. So yeah, question is, can you use Kro if you don't have the Brandia? Yes, but it is worse. You could lower the crit rate on that, it's a little bit better, but I kind of like it where Eiger gets hit. So looking at the runes, what kind of runes do we need for this? Well, we need some crazy runes for this. First of all, the Julie. Julie is highly elevated by having good artifacts. So good artifacts that you want is attacking or additional damage by attack, and then the damage on light. And then combination light's always good. This one, it's actually a blue artifact, but I checked on swap. This is the best artifact I have for increasing my Julie damage. And then we have like a whole bunch of runes that just add up a lot of attack, a lot of crit damage. And that's also what you want to aim for. You want to do as much damage as possible without having death break. So it's not just going pure on crit damage. It's a good combination of attack and crit damage. And then those additional damage by attacks to get in that damage. Looking at the other units, we have the Eigar, 85 on the crit rate. Accuracy is, I think the accuracy goes up to, yeah, we have one set over there. And then, so it's just 2 accuracy sets in there. So technically this is 48. Also, once again, damage on light, of course. And it's also fight set in there. I would say that you could maybe put Brandia towards a fight set as well if you're lacking it for the Julie to one-shot. Maybe you can reduce some of the accuracy to get extra damage in. This one is only at 26, so for the 26 I added in another 15. Also similar sets, accuracy, will, and fight. You do have to get will runes on everything. That's very important. You also, for speech wise, you have to get your Julie to at least 175 combat speed. Which, let me double check how much speed is that on a Julie actually. My Julie is currently, my Julie is overstacking that. You need at least 159, or like, yeah, 159. So you need 56 speed minimum on the Julie. And that is to outspeed the boss, and therefore Julie goes for attacking on the boss. When that happens, your Eigar still has will runes. So you don't have to go for triple will runes, which you probably will see in some builds. I don't have to go for that because Eigar will always have will, because Julie already shot on the boss, gave the boss a turn, and then Eigar takes a hit with will runes, so therefore we only need one will rune set on it. Ikaru, also pretty typical. I added in that shield set. There's maybe a little bit of safety. My Julie does overkill, but my Julie doesn't overkill by that much. I actually checked for going for a lower artifact, like a really bad artifact, and then it was not killing anymore. Also, if your Julie doesn't kill, you could say like, okay, maybe with the team-ups it's still fine. I wouldn't recommend it because Julie might get team-ups as well and get her 1000 shots back. If she uses 1000 shots on the final boss, you're fucked. That's just pretty much that. If you want to go for a turn order where Julie is not killing the full wave, I would let Raoak move first to clean up the waves and not have the Ikaru clean up the waves. It's already a lot better than that. So it is an option. I will show that in a second how that looks like. And then we have the Brandia. Brandia, I have a really crazy artifact on this. You don't really need a crazy artifact like this. It doesn't really get much better than this, especially for hero. Reason I say that Brandia is better than Kro is because Kro will be targeted by the boss as well, which you don't really want too much. So it is an option. It definitely goes fine for it, but it is quite a bit worse on it as well. So if we add in the Kro, and I'm actually going to make my Julie not one-shot the waves. Well, first we're gonna do one run with the Kro, see how that works out. And then we're going for Julie not one-shotting the waves and then showing how that works. Also, my Ikaru and my Raoak are on the same speed. That is mainly for just me testing, like, what do I prefer for the speed tuning? And I think I prefer the speed tuning of Julie moving, then Eigar moving, then Ikaru moving, and then Raoak moving. In this case, it's not the case because I switched like the two between them. But as you can see, with Kro, still perfectly fine works. But with Brandia, I would definitely say with Brandia, it is stronger than the one with Kro. So let's go for removing the Julie of some artifacts. So let's say that we don't go any damage on light, and let's say we go a bad artifact on attack increasing effect. So we still go something that's very reasonable for a lot of people to get. Like, let's say just this. Pretty bad artifact. Let's see how that goes. I think this would still probably kill. Let's see if this still kills. We just tune it down to make it to not killing. Okay, this already doesn't kill, so I'm somewhat on the edge to kill, actually. So you need a crazy Julie to actually make this work. On my ult, of course, I will make a team where it is going to be easier to clear it with everything. But let's see how this works out. It still kind of works. The only big issue is that Igar might not have the right skills and therefore always go for an S1 at this point. That is a part that's really bad, because Igar actually being able to use the skills adds a lot of safety to this whole team, because you don't have attack breaks yet, you don't have anything yet. So yeah, I would definitely say that Igar using the right skills, having the right skills is a lot better. Like, sure, it still worked, but I wouldn't really recommend to do this if your Julie is not one-shotting the waves. It just makes things a lot worse. So that's maybe a little bit of a bummer for a lot of people, that you would say like, oh, I can't make my Julie to one-shot. You could, however, say like, I make my whole team on will and fight, and with that reason, maybe you can make your Julie to one-shot. But the most important part is getting this additional damage attack kind of stuff in. Because let's say a damage without the light one, let's say we go for this one. Well, I would actually say that this one is probably stronger than this. Let's just say we go for this one, 14 on the damage. Yeah, let's say this one, just 14 on this, and we don't have any damage on light. I think you need a combination line of damage on light and the additional damage artifacts on attack, and then good runes. Otherwise, you're not gonna get there. Yeah, even this doesn't kill. Wow. Okay, you need a pretty freaking crazy Julie to actually make this whole one-shotting scenario happen. That's not that easy for a lot of people, most likely. So yeah, this is going to be one of those dungeons that the people with some crazy runes, but also crazy artifacts. I think artifacts are almost more important for making this Julie hit very hard, because in the end, my right side artifact is blue. Keep that in mind. But yeah, strong units that you might look at in this dungeon are definitely Igar. Igar is definitely a highly recommended unit to keep in this dungeon. Team up units are definitely strong. Vert is not that bad. A unit that people might overlook and that I actually got on my alt, Nickel, which is the water copper, is very strong for this because it gives slow the moment he gets hit, which is pretty interesting. Fuko is definitely an interesting unit as well. Fuko also has the chance to give slows when he's getting hit. So those kind of units are definitely the units that you want to look for. I will be making a video, I think today will be the video for the, this one. And then tomorrow will be the video for the alt, showing like a slower team, and then just on like bad rune quality, and then see that we can still clear it. Because in the end, if you don't have that many crystals, you just want to clear a dungeon, right? And you want to consistently clear it. And that's what I mostly do on my alt. So that one will be tomorrow. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you as always in the next one. And I'll probably be farming probably 2-3 weeks of PC10. PC10 is definitely one of those dungeons. Well, in general, guys, farm fucking artifacts. Like, any account I log into is just saying like, oh, what should I farm for my accounts? Like, okay, get your ass out of giants. Don't give a shit about your swift quads that you're not getting anyways. And all you need is high triples. All you need is hero artifacts. And you're good for artifacts. But all you guys are just chasing those legendary runes that never roll right. And you're not getting those swift quads anyways. Like, legit, how much did you get in the last month of giants farming? How many quads did you get? Like, 1, 2, I don't know. Like, they exist, and then they go on a fucking flat stat. Fuck you, unicorn. You're banned. But just for that reason, farm. All you need is 2 to 3 weeks. PC, 2 to 3 weeks of Abyss on Steel Fortress. You're probably done for artifacts with just 1 month of artifact farming for the rest of the year. Like, easily. Whereas giants, you can always go back to. Like, afterwards, you go back to giants, but just do 2 weeks of both of the Abyss dungeons for artifacts, you're good to go. And just farm it like this. 20 seconds. Easy. Okay, after quite a bunch more testing, with the Ikaru and the Rogue team, I noticed that especially the Ikaru starts hitting and countering on the left tower, which makes the left tower move a lot more. And you can have rotations in there where there's pretty much no armor breaks. And the no armor break rotation is really bad. And how does that happen? Well, it's Ikaru teaming up with Rogue or Brandia that doesn't land armor break. And then things just go bad. And then the other way is that it could be Rogue teaming up with the Julie and the Igar, and then nothing happens. So for that reason, I started looking at replacements, and for that reason, I put in a Prilia. Then you have another slot. You could still go in for like the Rogue on that other slot, but I was looking for something that could maybe do a bunch more than just an armor break. And for that, I came to the conclusion that an Arang, which also has an S3 that is damaged by debuffs, so will work very strongly on the S2 of Igar, has an S1 that has branding and glancing, so that's more debuffs, so Brandia will have high chance of using her skills as well. Made me feel like, okay, that's definitely something that we could look at and use, and so far it seems to be a lot better. I haven't seen like a full-on derpy run yet, and those full-on derpy runs is where Igar goes like straight S1, doesn't do any skills. But afterwards, I will always still have that armor break, and still having that armor break does help out quite some. I thought that Arang would never use S2 because S2 is actually a skill that strips. And some of the units have the AI that if there is a skill that would strip, they will never use it unless there is a buff. But I've seen Arang use that skill from time to time. But since there is quite good odds for multiple debuffs, she uses S3 a lot of the times. If she uses S1, it's also fine because that's branding and glancing, which makes more debuffs for Brandia also to hit hard. If you want to go full free to play, you have once, of course, like still replace that Brandia with a Kro. But I think that this team might be the one that does do quite a bit better. Like that S2, that Soul Snatch is the skill you don't want to see. It would be nicer if she had like perfect AI for the stripping thing, but she doesn't really do that. And yeah, I think that this team is better than the Ikaru team. And the main issue with the Ikaru team is Ikaru just gets the counter and then Ikaru starts countering on the left crystal, which means that the left crystal, every time it attacked, will get like 25% attack bar back. So that does mean that it's cleansing the boss a lot more. That does mean that he's giving a lot more attack breaks to your whole team. And those kind of things are just super annoying and are leading mostly into the fails. Whereas this team, you have a bunch of options for like a backup armor break on the Arang kind of. You have like glancing potential, so the boss would do slight less damage. There's a lot of stuff to it. Plus, the Arang does do a lot of damage. And yeah, that's just pretty nice. Yeah, Arang, it's weird with the AI of Arang because Arang should have perfect AI on S3 the moment that there's 4 debuffs, and now she did S2 on that point. But she's doing a lot of S2s as well. But still, this is a team that you would see a lot of succeeds, and then suddenly it's gonna fail like 2-3 times in a row, which you're like, I have no clue why that's actually failing like that. So yeah, those things are a little bit annoying on that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this team. So I do definitely think that I'm going to be running this team rather than the Ikaru team because it's just bad. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. See you later.